Hey, so we're here with our trombone player from Hustle Souls, Justice Mann. So coming off a really hot show last night, you were all over it. There's something about the energy in that upstairs room at Backstreet that I think all of you guys feed off of it, but you were really into it last night. So
Yeah,
nice
it helps
job.
that it's so tight.
Right?
Yeah, having everybody just like right there in front of you, giving you that energy, just so easy to blast it right back at them.
Yep. Yep. And so that brings me to one of the unique things that we love so much about the band and everybody who comes to see you guys live is that vibe, that upbeat, that give and take. You guys are coming off of cutting the album and it's in the bed now. It's ready to go. We're just waiting for the vinyl to be delivered and things like that. So how do you translate that energy and that vibe in the room to the studio as the horn section?
Yeah, it's definitely tough because the studio just inherently is more sterile than because there's nobody really that you're playing back against.
Right.
There's nothing coming back except for Eric, the producer, being like, do that differently. That wasn't quite very good. Try something else. So it definitely, like, I guess having all three of us in the room, having Trev, Billy, and myself all there kind of helps because that way we're at least not alone.
Right.
But yeah, I don't really know like how to get that exact energy, but we just try to
Sure.
keep it fun and live so that it at least tries to get that kind of feel.
Right. So sometimes we go back and we obviously do a lot of the recording at the shows, and we'll go back and we'll say, okay, last night all we ever wanted was 7 minutes, and then there's another venue where all we ever wanted can go to 12. I mean, it's
Right.
just depending on how you get that feel on stage and who Billy's pointing to in a certain respect. But when you go into the studio, do you guys have kind of an expectation for, all right, this song lives at about 7 minutes and that's where it should stay in a recording, versus when the live can kind of change or fluctuate on a night-to-night basis?
So yeah, the live, it's like it is exactly this long. It is 4 minutes and 15 seconds. You have this many measures to do something cool, or we'll have the horn lines jotted out, and it's very structured.
That you mean studio?
In the studio, yes.
Okay, all right. And then on the live side,
on the live side, yeah, we can do whatever. It's a lot more loose. But yeah, just to make sure that everything flows very well and
Right.
it doesn't get a little out of hand. Yeah, we try to keep it very tight for the album.
That's the part where I'm excited to hear how it translates after watching the last year and the number of shows we've been to. I have an expectation for, I know it's going to be phenomenal, first of all, but I want to see how it translates to, okay, I know what this can do to me when it's live.
Right.
How's it going to feel when I listen to it as a studio version? And from what the guys are saying is, and I guess your opinion, do you think that this studio version is going to translate well for those of us who've just been really out on the road seeing you guys?
Yeah, I think it should. It's definitely going to be different. The energy might be a little different just because it's not live, of course.
Right.
But I think the album definitely it gives you exactly what Hustle Souls is really about in a very concise way.
Right? Yep. So we know this one's in the can, and I guess the question that we've been kind of posing to everybody is, it's more like a three-parter. Obviously, everybody has said they've been really happy with it, but what are you going to miss about this album, and what are you most excited about the fact that it is done? It hasn't been released, hasn't been released yet, but what are you going to miss about this process, and what most excites you about the next steps that are coming?
Well, I guess I'm going to miss. I like being in the studio. I kind of wanted to do the studio, be a studio musician only.
Okay.
Which is difficult to do outside of like Nashville and LA.
Okay.
Especially as a horn player. So I like just sitting in the studio and running takes for a while. So I'm gonna miss just being in the studio, I guess. But really,
right.
Very excited to see what we're doing next, what songs we're gonna come in for the next one, and just sort of see where we go musically in general.
Right. So I didn't give him enough room. So on the recordings, shoot, I just lost my train of thought. See, I shouldn't have been even looking over there.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. I didn't give you enough room. So you're the first one who said that you actually like the studio, to be honest with you. Everybody else was like they like the freedom of the live experience, and that the studio is more of the tedious part that needs to be done. So I think that's an interesting difference between you and mostly what we've heard from the guys. But being out on the road with these guys, and Trev, who we didn't get this week, that vibe that the three of you create on songs like Whiskey, or any of the other ones where you're trading back and forth those solos, and it almost seems effortless, and yet I know it actually can't be. It's very technical stuff that you guys are doing. So how long does that take to get a comfort level to be able to do it on a nightly basis live versus, okay, in the studio we have as many takes as we want?
Well, I guess to say as many takes, it's of course how long do we have?
Right.
I would say it really just came together in person very well. We communicate very well as musicians, and I think that's the biggest part.
Right.
Is being able to hear, okay, Billy played this idea. I really like that idea, so I'm going to try and kind of play off of it and sort of evolve it, and then Trev will be like, oh, that was really cool, and then I'll try to evolve it. It's just being able to communicate very well, very quickly.
Yeah. It definitely translates live, I can tell you. I mean, we love it, especially when we've got all three horns. There's certain songs you're getting that weekend because everybody's there. I mean, even a couple of the covers with the New Orleans feel, there's nothing like seeing you guys live with the horn section. And I've probably asked this a couple of times, either in the group setting earlier or maybe even now, getting past the distraction there. But is it difficult for you, like we were talking about, so the drums and the bass pretty much get laid down the first day,
right.
And then the other pieces can, the piano or the keyboards or the guitars can get changed in and out. But then you three kind of sat down, and it was like almost like one day to do the whole album, mainly for the
Pretty
three
much.
of you guys on the horns.
Trev was just there for the one day, so we had to make sure that everything that he was doing was tracked out, because very difficult for him to drive down from
Right.
Virginia for it.
Right.
Since I was in town, Billy and I had a few sessions with Eric at his home studio to kind of piece a little bit more together.
Okay.
Anything that we couldn't quite get down that night, that we could go in and punch in later on.
Okay.
I already forgot the question. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's right. That's what I was looking for, more of
Yeah.
like the process for the horns, because we had gotten a little bit more technical with some of the other interviews on how the whole process went. So again, I'm just excited to see how it all translates to get the vibe between the live experience we get and what you guys are putting together with this album, and the fact that we were talking about some of the other songs that didn't get included here, because really trying to hone in on the sound, and this is kind of a story that you guys are telling with this album, that this is who we are, this is the sound we're going for, and look forward to more of that in the future.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time here today. We're going to see you guys again. I mean, how often do you get back-to-back nights with 4 hours, 3 sets? So we get you guys again tonight at 6 o'clock. We're going to get out of your way, let you guys have some downtime. Justice, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you.